has done it for so long. Let them continue to do it, and we'll just ride their coattails. I think that's bullshit.
Right.
So, yeah, you have to separate it. You have to say, hey, we're going to cut the funding to this because it's a bogus deal. We're not getting anything out of it. The world's not benefiting from it. I mean, we can't change it alone. I don't know. They talk, the left talks like they have these big plans and stuff, and I just don't see how it'll work. But on a heavier note, I don't want to be told what to do either. I don't need you to tell me how many people I can have in my home on Thanksgiving.
Right. Right.
It's a family gathering.
And on that note, it's already started because I really want to know who it is that appointed somebody to tell me what I'm supposed to be offended by.
Like, where in the Constitution is this?
Right. I mean, where is somebody sitting at in some office or something and somebody in the world said, oh, you're the guy that's going to tell us what offends Americans?
Right. It's the fact checkers on social media.
Right.
And shit.
I don't give a shit.
Assholes that sit and tell you what you should be offended by on social media.
Right. I mean, there's not much that offends us.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, because that's the way America is. We're tough. We're hardcore. We got thick skin and hard spines, and nothing
so does
much
the rest
offends
of the world.
us.
It's not just us.
Right. It's not just us.
Right.
But that's the way that the Socialist Party wants our children raised.
Right.
They want them.
It doesn't matter how tough
skin
the rest of the world is. Yeah, they want to baby the new generations up to where they feel somewhat pampered by the government, and that way they won't use their voice.
Right.
You know? And it's pathetic. It is so scary. It is so scary. And the rest of the world needs to get involved and say, hey, we're not a bunch of pampered babies. We can think for ourselves, and you're not going to tell us what to do and when to do it.
Exactly.
It's not just America. This right here is, we may be the catalyst to global change. Sadly, I don't want to be a part of that.
Right. Right.
But I don't think that it's only Americans that need to stand up and revolt and say, you're not doing this to us. I think it should be every proud member of this world. They should stand up and say, hey, we don't need you to tell us what to do. We've got this. Provide us a job to go to. Let us love and take care of our family and do what it is that we do on a daily basis. And then, keep taxing us.
Right.
I mean, shit's worked for so long. Why change it?
Right. But at this point, they're proving a point by us wearing these masks. Because they're pushing the extremes at this point to see how far they can make you go.
You'll abide
and how
by it, or you
much
won't
power
shop.
exactly they can have over you. Because at this point, it's a scientifically proven fact that a smoke molecule is 1,000 times larger than a COVID-19 molecule. Yeah. And if you can put your mask on and you can smell something through it, perfume, fire, smoke, anything like that, you're not protected.
Yeah, it's like we said before. They don't care what kind of mask or facial covering you wear, as long as you abide by what they're telling you. You wear a face covering, and I mean, it's a joke. They're laughing at us at this point because they're telling you have to wear a mask to protect yourself, but you can basically wear anything.
Right. And
you can wear anything.
And then, like, you go to any store and you're stuck with somebody at the front door telling you, you can't come in unless you have a mask on.
Exactly.
And then we get mad at the people at the store, but in reality, it's not the people at the store.
No.
Realistically, it's the United States government telling them that, hey, you cannot keep your store open and make money if people don't wear a mask because we said so.
Well,
but at the same time, big business, big box can stay open.
Right.
But the backbone of America and our small businesses have to shut their damn doors.
And they profit more from the virus.
Right.
So.
And then the Democratic Party wants to sit on their fucking hands with some kind of corona relief bill and not pass anything because they want to hand out money to illegal immigrants and stuff here in America instead of worrying about the Americans that's actually paying the taxes and paying their salaries. And then we're stuck with all these small business owners and everything, just losing everything they have because they're wanting money for illegal immigrants.
Exactly. I was thinking just a few seconds ago that they have had this plan for so long. And they've been implementing their plan for socialism for so long, right under our noses. And I guess people just don't realize because, like, for instance, with food delivery services, Grubhub, Uber Eats, everything, it's like, oh, yeah, this is great. We don't have to go out. We can have our food delivered, whatever, most places that didn't deliver already. And it falls under the guise of, wow, this is new technology of some sort. We can just order our food from anywhere and have it delivered. And really what they've done is they've shut down. That was the beginning of shutting down in restaurant dining. You can't dine in. And so they've pushed everything to where it's now delivery. If you want to eat out, you either get it curbside or it's delivered. And so they've shut down all dining in. And to me, that's a joke. And they've had it. The point of me saying this is that it's been implemented long before now, due to, before we even heard about COVID. They had a way around that. So they pull the wool over the Americans' eyes. That's what they do. They do things in the darkness of night, per se,
Right.
They just do that. They take away your rights and your civil liberties at night. And when you wake up, it's a new day.
Absolutely.
Look what we gave you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
That's exactly the way it's coming.
That's what's happening.
It's working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They slipped it right in on us.
But I just want to go back to that thing I was touching base on earlier. It's like, who gives somebody permission to tell us what we're supposed to be offended by here in America? And some of the social media giants are actually going in front of the House again today, and they're going to be grilled and questioned and all this good stuff. And I want to know what happened to the Freedom of Information Act that was signed into office. Because per the Freedom of Information Act that was signed into office, they're not allowed to tell you what you can put on the internet.
Well, they've been doing it for a long time.
I know, but this is a law in the United States. So it makes you wonder, here's my conspiracy theory to it. It makes you wonder that whose pocket is getting fatter by them letting these social media companies just keep going and going and going. Because if it is a federal law, they can just jail people, shut things down. They can just push their power. They don't have to keep having these hearings and stuff. Well, I guess it falls in line with how they bypass monopolies. Right.
All these businesses that have monopolies over small businesses, and they're shuttering them and closing their doors forever. How do they get away with that? I guess it's the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, but I really, really want to know how it is that these large companies like this, it's a money racket.
Sure.
I mean, it really is. It's just like these judges that will not
we'll never know anything
let
about.
President Trump's people go in and, and actually examine, all these ballots and match signatures.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. These Democratic judges, because every one of them is going to get kicked out. If you look on the news, if you look on the internet and you check out these judges, they're Democrats.
Right.
Openly
no
Democrats,
yeah.
no surprise, and they're shutting down the whole entire Trump organization.
And it's illegal to do that. You're supposed to be able to have people watching over the process.
Yeah, yet again,
that's a law.
Another law that just got
tossed to the side.
Yeah,
At this point, the progressive left has done everything they could do and wiped their ass with the Constitution.
Right,
that's what they've done.
And Amy Coney Barrett, that's one of my favorite things that she said when she was being grilled, is she said that as her position was not to make law. It was to uphold the law.
Exactly.
And if there is a damn law out there, I don't care if you're a Democrat, socialist, independent, Republican, if you are a judge, you uphold that law.
It's your job to uphold the law. You don't write
to make it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's not to just try to, bide time, twiddly thumb, shit like that. They just need to take any of this election stuff. I don't see why it's done on a state level any damn way.
Me either.
Because it should just go straight to federal court, and just because, it's a federal issue.
Mm-hmm.
They should not let states set their own rules and policies for
that's
federal
a slippery
elections.
slope, though, because that's the way it's always been.
I understand, but every state should have the same exact law.
Kind of like you got to take the bat with the
same
good.
exact
but
time,
yes,
same
when
exact
it comes
shutdown
to a federal
date
election, yes,
for a federal election.
Right.
Now their mayors and senate, whatever that they're
but they've
voting
all
for.
got their side. They all got their side bitches in there, and they're having to pay this one and that one and this one and that one. There's too much corruption going on, so they'd never get it filtered back down to where it's just, hey, this is the way the federal election goes.
Right.
Everybody abides by the rules. It's too corrupt at this point. It's too dirty.
I mean, talking about corruption.
Can't fix it.
If Nancy Pelosi gets Speaker of the House again.
Ugh.
That's just more fucking proof right there. There
has to be. We need time limits.
Oh yeah. There actually definitely needs to be caps put on every fucking office seat. If the president only gets 8 years,
right,
nobody's better than the president.
No, that's ridiculous, right? Some of the things in this country are stupid, and we can't, for some reason, collectively decide, hey, these are the idiotic things that happen in this country that make no sense. They're redundant. Nothing ever comes out of it. Let's change those. We can't never focus on those things.
Right.
You know, term limits should be a law. If you're in there for a certain amount, I think 8 years is good. If you can't do shit in 8 years, get the hell out.
That's
Let
right.
someone else come in.
Now,
you know?
see, if they can sit back and tell us how many people we can have in our house on
Right, we should
Thanksgiving
be
to
able
eat our turkey.
term limits, motherfucker.
Yeah, we should be able to tell you only get 4 years in office. I mean, come on. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous.
Right.
This is our houses, our turkey that we bought, our stuff, and I mean, and they're going to try to tell us who can come in our damn house.
Don't
and who
forget
can
to wear
eat.
your mask.
And don't wear your
when
mask.
You're not eating.
I've wondered about that. I've seen it on TV. You know, we've seen it in real life, and it's like, okay, so you go in a restaurant, you wear a mask, but you take it off when you sit down.
Right.
So you tell me that these people, after they sit down, they don't sneeze, they don't clear their throat, they don't.
Well, apparently COVID-19 has common courtesy. Because if you're eating, it says, "Whoa, I'll back off, dude. You go ahead and finish your meal, and then I'm on your ass after you're done."
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, this fucking virus went to etiquette school.
Right.
I mean, it really did. I mean, they sent this son of a bitch in etiquette school because it's a proven fact that this shit can travel 21 feet in the air. And I mean, if somebody clears their throat, they sneeze, they cough, your mask is off. It doesn't matter if you're sitting at your damn table.
Exactly.
It's going 21 foot in one direction or another, and then it's getting spread.
Listen,
so what the hell is there? I mean, at this point, not to interrupt, but at this point, it's got to. It makes you wonder what the fuck are people thinking.
Yeah,
it's common fucking sense, and we're just listening to it.
Yeah, we've went too far. We've let it go too far. Something needs to happen. I'm not sure exactly what, but look, if this was in the 1980s or even the 90s, okay, if this was the 80s or 90s, people would not be standing for this shit at all. I don't know what's going on right now in this country. I don't know why everybody secretly a fucking socialist, and they're like, ooh, I'm ready to take it on and see what happens. Is everybody in that big of a need of change? I mean, hell, where things have happened, maybe we are.
Right.
Maybe this is some sort of freaky evolution to where people can't even think for themselves right now. And it's like, maybe technology has really got a hold on us and we haven't realized it. I can't for the life of me understand why everybody's just pretty much idly sitting by and letting it happen.
Right.
It doesn't seem right to me. And I mean,
but
we're here.
From what little conversations and stuff over the last couple of weeks, and I got to thinking about it, and it's like the younger generation, for some reason, thinks that the Democrat Party is out for the little man.
Right.
They make comments like, you don't make enough money to be a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what are you talking about? You know, I don't believe in killing babies.
Right.
I believe in gun rights. I believe in our amendments. I believe in the way the system works and the laws and the way that this was set up by our forefathers.
Well, that's the way it was.
The Democrats are just trying to take all that away from us. So what does money have to do with being a Democrat or a Republican, other than the fact that the Democrats want to tax you to where you don't have a fucking paycheck? Now, that's something that the youth of the United States should be worried about.
I think I wasn't born all the way back. I'm going to take us back to the 60s, but I think through the 60s, 70s, and partly through the 80s, if you read history and stuff, I think that a lot of people, in this country, they felt that way. They're bringing back that old feeling of that the Republicans are a bunch of wealthy white men and they don't care about blue collar workers or anyone in society, as a matter of fact. That's the way that a lot of people felt. And it was, and then they looked at the Democrats as the hardworking blue collar family who didn't want to be taxed to death. That wasn't right. And that's the way that's the old way that they looked at it. And things had changed. When Bill Clinton was in office, him and Hillary Clinton were two of the biggest socialists this planet has ever seen. And they didn't talk about it until Bernie Sanders came out of the closet with his socialist ideas. Nobody talked about being a socialist because they knew that it wouldn't fly in those decades. If you went front and center and you told people, hey, we're going to tell you what's best for you. We're going to take all your money. We're going to redistribute it throughout the rest of the country to where everybody gets a so-called slice of the pie and you're going to like it. Wow, they wouldn't have lasted 2 days. And they knew that.
Right.
They knew they couldn't come out and say those things. But what they did do was they got elected. They were elected, and they spread that and talked about it all over the world through their foreign affair abilities. That's what they did. So for years and years and years, they've been talking about how America needs to become a socialist country, and it will affect the rest of the world in a positive